da, 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 da. It's got to be more, got to be more. Da, 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 da. And I don't know the rest of the words to this song, but it is nice. Da, 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 da. I had her on Saturn. Maybe I should do that for my short today. I was listening to that song earlier, and yeah, this fucking thing, it's like a mast on a ship. I always make the sailing reference. I don't sail, but maybe I should. Maybe I should learn to sail. All right. I'm going to let myself be expressive in this, so I'm turning my mic volume down. Hello, lovely people. It's Victoria. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. In a turn of events, I'm filming this video when I'm actually not completely exhausted, so I might have some energy. It's probably going to be on the more animated side, even though a lot of times, even when I am tired, I feel like I am also very animated. But I have not filmed my short yet for today where I'm singing. I need to do that still because I am trying to maintain my streak of just making singing shorts every day. I posted my Never Enough like 5-part shorts on here, and then I only posted part 1 on TikTok, and I still need to post the rest of the parts. But instead of doing that, we're going to make another long form video, even though I have literally 3 long form videos that I still need to either edit or finish editing. But we're on a roll of filming. I am working my way down the list. I think I showed this in my college storytime video. This is literally my video idea list. I don't know if you can read anything on that, like kind of hoping you can't because I don't want to spoil it, but I have a lot of ideas and I just want to actually do some of this shit. But I'm kind of getting really into the things that take less planning / scripting / research because that would take more time. I'm kind of getting into on a roll, okay? Hey, I'm a hoe. I'm on a roll, flying so high, achieving my goals. And also, my toxic trait is I still really love Tana Mojo's content. I really, she is my guilty pleasure. She is my guilty pleasure. She is my ultimate, form of brain candy. I don't even think I'm actually subscribed to her, but I've been watching her a lot. I go in these little modes where I just watch a ton of her content. But you know what? I'm fully sober, okay? I hit my 6-month milestone of being completely sober the other day, and I only have so many vices left in this life, okay? But yeah, there's something about also watching Tana that makes me just want to lean into the yapper side of me and just talk about my life and tell stories and shit like that. So we're going to this is going to be another storytime sampler. Okay. I just uploaded my toxic boy mom storytime 10 minutes ago. So I don't think anyone's seen that yet. Kind of interested to see if anyone comments anything on that or how people engage with it. That'll be interesting. I'm interested to see because it'll be interesting. But in addition to the full on storytimes, I like doing storytime samplers if it's not enough for a full-on thing, but just mini things, especially if they fall within the same time period. And I've kind of done them before. I filmed a college storytime sampler yesterday that may or may not be up before this video. But when I decided to do that, I was also kind of torn between doing that and these, my romantic debauchery storytimes. Okay, so basically just little anecdotes about the shit show that kind of is and also has been my romantic life. I don't know if I don't think the audio is peaking right now, but I'm probably being kind of loud. I've been experimenting with a different setting on my mic. I'm back to the one that I've been using before. I used a different one for my college story time. We're going to see how this ends up being. But all that to say, if you're new here, hi. I'm Victoria. I'm a singer-songwriter and content creator. Okay, I don't make money from it, but if you're a writer, if you write, I make content. I'm a content creator. Okay, we're gonna let me wear that hat. All right. I'm a content creator. I talk about whatever I feel like talking about whenever I feel like talking about it. That generally includes either myself or internet stuff. So it basically falls into a few categories. I try to post singing content every day. I have an EP that I uploaded that I released / uploaded a few months ago. Tiny Sailboat. So fucking proud of that. That is my baby. If you have checked that out already, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I will continue to spam people by telling you to listen to it and putting the links in the description and at the end of the video for like probably a really long time, because I was afraid that wasn't going to get released for a minute. I like didn't know if I was going to release it. I didn't know if it was going to be finished. Like that was a whole fucking crucible. It was an Odyssey. It was a crucible. I was going to say it was an Iliad. I don't even know what an Iliad is, honestly. I've not read the Iliad. I am in a peculiar mood right now, and I just keep doing the peace sign. I found out that apparently doing peace sign with the back of your hand facing the person is really offensive in a lot of countries, and the proper way to do it is with the palm facing out. So, fun fact, if you didn't know that, I didn't know that until a few months ago. Well, like 7 months ago, but 7 is a few. Anyway, so yeah, sobriety updates, story times, rants, commentary on internet stuff, media, advertising, whatever I feel like talking about. There are some kind of political topics on my list that I may get to at a certain point. I also have a website that I have not blogged on in like over 4 months, but it has all my music stuff on there, and it has some articles that I've written about random fixations of mine. I should get back to it, but like I said, I've been really into posting content, and I really, really, really want to see how much I can make this channel grow within a year. That's kind of a goal of mine. If I could hit 1,000 subscribers within this year, that would be fucking crazy. I know it's very ambitious, but I'm an ambitious ass bitch, so we're going for it. But even more than that, I really just want to push myself to like make a huge dent in this list, put all my, like so much of my energy and express myself on this channel and just have fun with it and just see what can come of it. And, you know, push myself to sing every day. Like, this has just been good for me. It's a good practice, good exercise, but I also have, you know, the little metric in my head, the little number-based goal of it'd be really fucking cool if I could hit 1,000 subscribers, because I've never done that. The highest I've ever gotten is like just over 600 on the channel that I got deleted that I mention all the time. R.I.P. I do miss her, but, you know, everything happens for a reason. It would be cool, though, to I'm just rambling. Like, it's fine. It would be cool to have a little more to show for the amount of time and effort that I've put into creating content on the internet, because I've been doing this to some extent for a really long time, like a really long time, on different channels that don't exist anymore. But you know what? It's prepped me for this moment to talk to you about my messy ass love life. So most of these, basically all of these, yes, all of these, except for one actually, took place during my college years. But I wanted to make a separate video like outside of my college story times. Those were just, you know, non-romantic. I'm like really over explaining this very basic concept. I wanted to keep like the normal story times, you know, this is its own category because they're in a league of their own. So the first thing that comes to mind is, should I say this person's name? Their first name? Should I say this? I don't know if it's a very common name. It's a very common name. And I doubt she wants anything to do with me anymore or will be watching this video or anything. But like, if you are, you can watch me make fun of myself for the fact that I did this. Ashley, okay? The Ashley song, all right? Basically, there was this girl that I had a class with that I was pretty, I would say we were friends. We were definitely friendly. But yeah, we were friends. We had a class together. We like walked from class and would like talk a little bit. She did me a total solid because there was this, in this class, we had these clickers and we had to click in to log our attendance, and I had not had great attendance in this class and my grade was kind of suffering, but I had to miss a class to go to a Nothing More concert, my very first Nothing More concert back in 2017. And I took a photo with the band that also doesn't exist anymore because it was on an Instagram account that I deleted. And I talked about why I deleted it in a video. It was one of the two. It was my older one. So it was the first time I deleted an Instagram account and lost that shit forever. Didn't fully realize what I was doing when I did that. I didn't even go through and like save photos. I didn't take screenshots of anything I wanted to save. I just impulsively deleted it. It was so fucking stupid. But my very first Nothing More concert, and I had to go to it. Like I had to. Fun fact, I was the first person there. Okay. I got VIP tickets and I was the first person there. This show started at like 7:30. I got there at like 2:45. I was the first person there for like a good probably hour. Okay. I low-key want to see them again. I've seen them. How many times have I seen them? 3 times. I've seen them 3 times. But I had to miss my class for this and I'd already missed quite a bit. But she took my clicker. I came up with this idea. I was like, would you be able to do me a favor, take my clicker and click in for me so that it looks like I'm there? And she's like, oh yeah, absolutely. So she did me a total solid and she was like beautiful. Okay. She was like gorge. I don't really have a type with guys or girls. I'm pansexual or, just people in general. I don't really have much of a physical type, but I also kind of do. It's fair to say a lot of the women I found attractive kind of fit certain, like they have similar features, and she was just it. Okay. She was just it. And so she was just beautiful and she was really cool and just hardworking and everything. And I forget when exactly in the year this was. I think it was in maybe spring-ish. Like it had been, I honestly have no idea. It is kind of a blur. Maybe this was in the winter. I truly have, maybe it was spring. Maybe it was the winter/spring term. But we had been kind of cool for a while and friendly and stuff like that. And I realized this was also, I'm pretty sure, after another situationship I had with someone that we're also going to get to. This is kind of out of order. I'm just going in the order of how I've written these down on my list. So I was very romantically inclined. I've always been a romantic, and I can kind of, I don't want to say over dramatize because it will feel genuine to me, but like I thought that I was like in love with this girl. I was very infatuated with her. I was very infatuated. Didn't know her incredibly well, but like was friendly with her and really, really liked her. Like really liked her. And I wrote a song, okay? I have no record of this song's existence. I don't have it on paper. I don't remember what it sounded like. I don't remember anything, but it was a love song. It was a full-on like love song, acoustic fucking Taylor Swift type beat, okay? It was so, I remember it being so sappy, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was long too. I think it was like a 4.5-minute song. I literally forget everything about, I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember anything except it was so pointed. It was so obvious. Like she absolutely would have known that it was her or about her. But the thing that makes it even more cringe is literally, I think I told her that I thought she was cute or something, or I asked if she was single. I think I asked if she was single. I didn't even know what her sexuality was. I didn't know anything. And she told me, I'm going to do the fucking like punctuation by punching my hand, because she told me that she was talking to someone at the moment. I think she had said like she had just started talking to someone. And so my brilliant brain, I'd already posted this onto my aforementioned YouTube channel. My brilliant brain was like, oh, she just started talking to someone. It's not that serious, so it's totally fine if I still send this. That won't seem creepy or weird or anything. So I was like, hey, if you get a second, I wrote this song, and it would be really cool if you could listen to it. And I sent her the link, I think on Instagram, I think on a DM. And then I saw that she had seen it. Like she just left me on red on that message, and I've never spoken to her again after that. So I assumed that she listened to this song, and she just never responded to me ever again. So yeah, that's the Ashley song. Oh, and then, okay, I'm pretty sure before that happened, there were 2 previous situationships. So the first one that I had was with these well, I wasn't with these two dudes. I met these two dudes at the bookstore maybe like a week into me being at college, or like 2 weeks. And I really hit it off with one of them. And I just had a thing. I was a flirty little birdie, okay? I made this joke in a video a long ass time ago that's not on my channel, but I was like, I was super fucking thirsty. Give me a straw. And I said that at that time when I was like 18 about my younger self, as if I still wasn't extremely fucking thirsty. I was in Arizona, okay? I was in the desert. I was parched constantly. But I had a thing where like I would meet someone and then we would realize we liked each other, and then like day 1 or 2, I would sex them, or we would have phone sex or something. I would just immediately jump to like sexual connection. So started doing that with this dude, and then we eventually had sex. He was the 3rd person that I'd ever had sex with. And my second kind of hookup, or the second person I'd hooked up with that I wasn't in a relationship with, because I'd had my second hookup previously that May. That was the first time I'd ever smoked weed. I only had like 1 hit, and that was like probably my worst hookup ever. Definitely one of the worst. I made a video about it saying my worst hookup, and it definitely is still one of the worst. It may have been edged out by someone else. No, it's still the worst. It's definitely still the worst. Okay, anyway. I don't know what else there actually really is to say about this dude, because we weren't really that compatible. I think that's what happens when you jump to the sexual energy first and you just focus on that, especially when you're really young and you get really fixated on that. But things ended up ending, and it was kind of initiated by this like fight we had over me being offended at being told that I couldn't just wear a sports bra to the gym anymore because that like wasn't in dress code or wasn't appropriate, and I thought that was unfair. And I asked for his opinion, and then his opinion wasn't what I wanted it to be, and so then I got offended about that. And but also this was like not our first fight. We were just kind of quick to fight. It was very just intense. I don't know what zodiac sign he was, probably a Gemini or some shit. We were just like quick to fight. We both had intense energy, and it didn't really end well. And yeah, I don't know why I really put that on the list, because I also, one of the times that we fought was because I thought I was making a joke and he got offended by it, because he was like, oh, we should work out together. And I'm like, are you sure you won't get distracted seeing me squat or some dumb shit? And he was like, what, as if I am so like horny that I can't even focus on a workout with you? We can't even have like a normal interaction? And I thought I was being funny, and I was just like, oh, okay. And yeah, but he's married now, I guess, and I don't know if he has a kid, but he's definitely married, so good for him. And then I'm pretty sure shortly after that, I met this dude. I honestly, my Riz was kind of on fucking 11 when I was 18, because I probably because I kind of behaved somewhat erratically, and so it kind of occasionally led to me making good choices that were kind of really brave, but then they would end well. Like this other dude, I like rode my bike past him one day, which, by the way, my fucking college, so many of the times, like, there are giant areas that you had to walk your bike. It was like walk your wheels. And I get it's like a safety thing, but also like, I'm paying you, okay? I'm paying you, and I can't even ride my bike to class. Like, that's so dumb. Anyway, I rode my bike past him. I guess I was, it was one of those times where you're allowed to ride your bike. And I did like a double take. I literally like rode past him, thought he was super cute, and then went back around, and he was sitting on a bench, and I asked if I could sit next to him, and then I just like struck up a conversation. I like got his number, and then we became like friendly. It was that weird like friends that are clearly attracted to each other, but nothing really ends up happening. But we went to Texas Roadhouse because he had never been before. I'm pretty sure. That was crazy. And we had like the classic moment. It was like a fucking sitcom moment where we go to the table, and like the hostess is walking us to the table, and she was like, are you guys on a first date? And we're like, oh no, we're not, like, we're just friends. It really was like that moment. He also was into weed, and this was kind of once I had started my little tiny experimentation with weed and smoking it on occasion. And I don't know if I had yet gotten a connect at my school. I may have that allowed me to get access to weed because recreational weed was not legal in Arizona yet. And even if it was, I was not 21. But I smoked a little bit with him and his younger brother. I remember we were watching this docu-series, I think called like 22 or something. Under 2. I think it's all Under 2. And it's basically about like trying to see if it's physically possible for somebody to run a marathon in under 2 hours. Or I think it's called Breaking 2. We were watching this docu-series called Breaking 2, and we were kind of like smoking weed, and I remember texting him being like, I want to make out with you. Can we go somewhere and make out? And he didn't want to leave his brother because he didn't want to be rude to his brother, which was valid, but I was just like super horny and thirsting after him. And then kind of nothing really happened after that. Also, he drove me to the Nothing More concert. He was such a good friend. He drove me into the city to drop me off at the Nothing More concert because he was so nice. And then we kind of fell out of touch. And then once I'd moved to Oregon, I think it was after I'd gotten out of my first relationship that was a little over a year that was really good and healthy, but we ended it because we were both like insanely depressed and we'd gone through a year of COVID, and I know things ended for the best, but I'm still kind of like annoyingly attached to the memory of them, and like I know it's for the best. And also it doesn't help that I have not talked to him in like almost exactly 4 years, and I know nothing about his life. I literally don't even know if he's alive anymore. I don't know if he's married. He probably he could have a kid and be married and be completely like, I have no idea. I'm probably never going to speak to him again ever. But it's really annoying when a relationship ends and it's like nobody's fault and you actually like really love the person, but you don't even really have a concept of how much you love them. That's really annoying. But I think it was after that. Okay. And so I was still in this weird emotional denial of like, I hadn't really cried about it. I hadn't really felt anything. I was like numbing myself out, smoking a lot, all that good stuff, and continuing to behave very erratically. And so I think I reached out to him, basically sent almost like a "you up" text, but just not in those words. And even though he was in a different state, I like hit on him and basically was like, I think I asked if we could like sex or something. And then he said that he had a girlfriend, and my thirsty pick me ass, I don't remember what I sent to this man, but it was not appropriate to send to someone that had a girlfriend. I remember that. It was like, I think it was because I was also probably drunk. I was like crossfaded as fuck. And then like, I think it may have even been like, well, I think it was like, well, if anything happens with her, then feel free to reach out or something so insane. But I did end up reaching back out a little at a later date and being like, I'm sorry for sending that. That was super inappropriate. Like, I'm really sorry. And he never responded. He probably blocked me, and that's totally valid. That's also kind of sad. That I don't know if I'm ever going to reconnect with him because he was a really good guy. But yeah. Also, in the after effects of that relationship, when I was just in this newly single limbo, there was this budtender. Okay, there was this budtender at the dispensary near my house that I went to all the time, and he was really fucking cute, and I had a crush on him. And I remember I started like getting all dolled up to go to the dispensary. I remember I spent like an hour doing my makeup one time and like picked up my outfit that was still like casual, but I was like, I literally did a full face of makeup to go to the dispo to see this dude, even though he had seen me without makeup like a lot. But I had like gotten his Snapchat, and eventually, I think that was the night I got his Snapchat, was when I did that full face. But we had kind of sent like suggestive messages back and forth. I'd said something really dirty to him because that was what I did. I would, say you're cute, whatever, and be like, okay, it's mutual attraction, and then would test the waters of being super thirsty. If I were to be in a relationship, which, it hasn't happened yet, I trust the universe will present it to me when I'm ready, as I express frustration at being emotionally attached to an ex-boyfriend that I literally have no connection to anymore at all, but whatever. But if I were to, I don't think I would be nearly as thirsty as I have been previously. But it was just such a big part of how I interacted with people. I remember my flash, total jump around. My senior year of high school, I was like talking to this dude that had a crush on me that wanted to date, but I just wanted to hook up because I was in my stir crazy phase still. And he said he was okay with it, but he actually wasn't. And then we were hanging out, and also his friend was there, and I just felt really like left out and weird. And I actually just completely like I totally ditched. I literally like got up. I texted my friend to come pick me up, and I just walked away and left. Didn't tell him because we were like jamming in his garage with his friend, and they were just like playing this song that I didn't know. And I felt kind of excluded, but instead of like vocalizing that, I literally asked my friend to come pick me up. And then I just got up and walked out without saying anything. And then he was like, yo, where'd you go? And then I said that I told him like how I felt, and then I felt left out, and he was frustrated with me, and kind of rightfully so, but I said something about like, I didn't think he cared about me. And then he said, that's because the way you show people you care about them is by throwing yourself at them. And so then I said, fuck you, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And I called him a dick, and that was that, which I still stand by. That's not the best response, but I have always been rather thirsty, but also he was pretty confused about what he wanted from me in the first place. And also I was too, but whatever. That's a story, and aside from this story, I've always been a flirty birdie. But I don't know if I would be anymore as much. But then again, when I'm attracted to someone, like, who fucking knows what's going to happen? Like, all hell breaks loose. But back to this goddamn story. Eventually, he pretty much tells me, like, I want to hang out with him. And he kind of says, like, oh, yeah, we should hang out. But then he eventually was like, I don't think it's a good idea for us to hang out. It probably just isn't for the best because I'm like working on myself. He gave me that. He gave me like that. I've been working on myself, and like it's just not good for me to, get involved with anybody right now, because I'm just going through a lot, and I'm just working on self-development and whatever. I don't know if it was that long-winded, but yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. And I think I even, like, a few months later, I checked in on him and was like, hey, just want to see, like, how you're doing and if you're any more down to hang out. And he gave me, like, the same thing of, like, don't think it'd be for the best because I'm still working on myself. It's like, okay, cool. And then this is when it becomes a story time. Okay. Honestly, this could maybe be its own video. This could have possibly been its own video. It just would have been rather short, but like it's a fucking thing. All right. So then my sister moves in with us, my older sister, who is great. Love her so much. Well, this was like a year apart. So like a year later, my sister moves in with us. She had previously lived with us and then moved out and then moved back in, and she lived with us for a while. So then, also for context, my older sister and I have different last names, and we really don't think we look very much alike. Some people have told us we look a lot alike, and I think we have some similar features, but like we've never really thought that we look that much alike. We've always thought that we look more like cousins than sisters. So, and to the naked, untrained eye, you would not necessarily immediately recognize us in the other person of like, oh, they must be related, the way that you would with like my mom. Like I look exactly like my mom. I've always heard that my entire life. So my sister comes home from the, dispo one day and is like, I was talking to this dude and I think he asked for her info and is like, and we've been talking and like, he's really amazing. And I think this is like, could be something really special. And I was like, what's his name? It was the same guy. The I'm working on myself guy. And I was like, oh, funny. He also, like, he gave her like free swag from the dispo. He gave her like a free sweatshirt just, cause he liked her because she's, fucking gorgeous and charismatic and hilarious and she's everything. Okay. She's literally everything. And also like, sister, if you happen to be watching this, I feel like I am valid in telling the story. Okay. I feel like this is my story to tell. So I'm not trying to, implicate you. You did nothing wrong. I love you so much. Anyway, hello. I am coming in with what I'm intending to be my only addendum to say, one, I am at peace in regards to the thing I said about my ex-boyfriend. I just want to say I am at peace with the way my life has gone. I am at peace with the decisions I've made. I am trusting the timing of my life, and I believe everything's going to work out for the greater good. And also understand that we tend to idealize past relationships. And I sometimes go through seasons of it being worse than other times, but I am good and at peace. And I welcome the possibility of a healthy relationship. I'm just not super great about doing anything to bring that about. I don't really go out. I'm not great at meeting people or really doing anything except like going to work and then doing my hobbies and stuff when I'm not at work. But I want to trust so that I'll attract the person I'm supposed to be with. And yeah, maybe I'm being honest about this isn't the best thing for attracting a potential partner, but I don't know. It's human. I imagine I'm not alone in it. So being too honest on the internet is kind of a thing I do. And then also I wanted to add important context for this budtender story, which I am like pretty much positive. As soon as my sister found out that I had previously talked to this dude, she asked me if it was okay if she still talked to him. She asked me if it was okay. I forgot to mention it in the moment, but then I remembered. I was like, okay, yeah. She asked if it was okay. And yes, it was one of those situations where you feel like you kind of need to say yes, but also like I knew nothing was going to happen with him anyway. And it just, if it was going to work out with her, okay, cool. But I just let her know what it is that he said to me and that it seemed like he was kind of just like stalling and trying to like let me down easy, but without actually being assertive about it, and let her do with that what she wanted. And he ended up moving to a different state anyway, and so nothing ended up happening with them. And she is in a very healthy, happy relationship with someone else, and he seems to be perfect for her. And that's all well and good, and I'm very happy for them. But yeah, I wanted to make that clear. That I'm pretty much positive that she was like, how do you feel about this? Is it okay if I still do this? And I was like, okay, yeah, it's all good. I feel like my life is fucking mocking me, but it's fine. So she, it's the same guy. And so I'm like, oh, funny you should mention that. I had like a flirtationship. I didn't use that word, but basically I was flirting with this guy and we were like talking about a year ago, and he ended things with me because he said he was working on himself. And she was like, oh, no way. Like, obviously she had no idea. And I wasn't like mad or anything. I was just like, I was kind of pissed at him because I'm like, what happened to fucking working on yourself? Like, you could have just said you're not interested. If you're not interested in me, like, that's fucking fine. Okay. Just what is the, okay. I think she was the one that told him that we were sisters, or I may have like messaged him on Snapchat and said, like, oh, so seems like you and my sister are talking now, LOL, or something like that. Or she may have also told him. I don't remember how we found out exactly, but there was that. And then I made a third fucking attempt establishing, like, I thought it was clearly established, like, okay, cool, I'm happy for you guys. She's great, If you're talking, if you have a thing going on, that's wonderful. And then I kind of suggested to be friendly. I think, like, maybe if you're ever down to hang out, like, purely as friends, now that you're talking to my sister, that could be really cool if we could just hang out. I don't think I said anything about it just being the two of us. But I don't think I suggested all three of us either. I think it was still like an ambiguous, like, oh, we should hang out. This is like, I've clearly never seen or read He's Just Not That Into You, but this bitch goes, now that I'm talking to your sister, I just don't think that would be the best move. I just like wouldn't feel like that would be right. But I wish you the best, or whatever the fuck he said, whatever bullshit. And I like recounted this to my best friend later on, and I was just like, I feel sometimes like my life is mocking me. This is one of those times. So I told her that, and she was like rightfully angry for me. And it's like that John Mulaney bit where like he's talking about someone says something and then it's like, yeah, he should. She said, like, her response was so valid. She was like, it's so fucked up for him to even think that you would like do anything shady behind your sister's back. He's like acting as if you were trying to like come on to him, even though he was talking to your sister. Like this was some nefarious thing. And I was like, yeah, I was literally just trying to be friendly and be like, yo, maybe I don't know, like if we're gonna just be friends and be platonic, like maybe we could just hang out as friends. But he's treating this like, oh, this is some back alley shit. It was so fucking weird. Like, I guess he just didn't like me, and that's fine. So, and the last story that I'm going to share with you today involves someone that I met at a bar. And you may understand why in, I think my What I Got for Christmas video, I mentioned that one of my goals is to figure out how to meet people. And I know that there are ways to meet people while being sober, but like so much of my previous meeting of people involved like bars or dispensaries, and I do not go to either anymore. But also it was like school or dating apps, and I don't really frequent those things anymore either. But I met this dude at a bar. He was like a friend of a friend, and he was very attractive. And there was like this joke, we were obviously drinking and stuff, and it had been established that he had previously made out with someone else in this friend group that I worked with, that I was like closer with. And so then later on, when it was kind of mainly just he would have heard it, I made the joke of like, so are you down to make out or something like that? And it was like, right now? And I was like, yeah, I mean, honestly, once I finished my drink. And so then we like made out, and then I ended up going home with him. Nothing ended up happening. We literally just fell asleep because we were both really drunk, and he respected boundaries and consent and like did the bare minimum, and it was so fucking hot. But I fell asleep, and my older sister got so fucking mad at me because both my parents were like out of the house at the time, and my younger sister, who normally lived with me, was out of the country. And so I was the only one living in my house at the time, and my older sister was the only one in town. She just had moved out. I was at her apartment, but she obviously like wanted to keep tabs on me and stuff. And so I told her I was going out by myself, and she's like, you know, you need to be home, like try to be home by a certain time. Tell me when you get home. And so because I didn't go home and I fell asleep in this dude's apartment, she literally told me also, don't go home with anyone. She's like, don't go home with anybody. Get home safe. Tell me when you get home. And so then I literally like went home with this friend of a friend that I didn't really know very well, but like I felt was okay, and fell asleep in his place. And so like 5 a.m, I wake up and she's like blowing up my phone, like, because she also had to get up really early because she was a barista at the time. I was like, where the fuck are you? Like, you didn't tell me when you got home. Are you okay? And then she called me, and I had to tell her like where I was in town. She's like, God damn it, Victoria. And she's like, get in the Uber right now. Send me a picture of you in the Uber. So that was a whole thing. And she like couldn't talk to me for a minute. Like she was so fucking mad at me. And I was all like, I had just turned 25, and I was like, if I want to stay out till 5 a.m, I should be able to stay out till 5 a.m. I'm a goddamn adult. But also it's valid for older sisters to be concerned about you. But basically, this dude and I ended up hooking up twice. The second time that we hooked up, though, he seemed like his mind was elsewhere, and he seemed kind of torn. And then later on, we are back. I ate some ribs and mashed potatoes, and they were fucking delicious. Need to hide the curtain clips at all costs. But back to my last story of romantic debauchery. Basically, this dude, okay, he had just gotten out of a relationship, I think, kind of somewhat recently. And I don't remember him telling me why they broke up. I remember him telling me about another ex that was like abusive and horrible to him. But this ex, I think the most recent one, wasn't. But I don't remember why they broke up. I don't even know if he told me. But he was like, so my most recent ex and I actually like reconnected, and I don't think we can really like hook up again. And I'm like, okay, so you're not single anymore? He's like, no, technically no, I'm not. And he told me the whole story. Basically, okay, so basically his ex-girlfriend, I think, I don't know if she's still his current girlfriend. I literally haven't talked to him in like a year, or actually more than a year. He like tried to talk to me and like be nice and stuff a little bit afterward, but then I responded to him, and then he didn't respond back. And it was like, okay, I guess you're done trying to make yourself feel better, but whatever. his ex-girlfriend, I think, worked as a barista, I want to say, and she had this like stalker, like this, I don't know if it was a full-on stalker, but this creepy guy that was just kind of obsessed with her. He went to this dude's work. Well, actually, no, I know the dude was a barista. I don't know if the ex-girlfriend was a barista, but whatever. He went to this guy's work and basically pretended that he was with his ex-girlfriend, that he was like her current boyfriend, and told the guy that I hooked up with, like, stay away from her, I'm with her, blah, blah, blah. Then spurred him to reach out to his ex and be like, yo, do you know this guy? Are you dating this guy? Because he just came in and like threatened me and shit. And she was like, oh, no, he's this creepy guy, whatever. And then made them start talking again. And then they basically ended up getting back together. So on one hand, fuck you to that guy for getting in the way of me having a perfectly good dick appointment situation, okay? Fucking with my friends with benefits situation I had going on that was doing perfectly fine. But also, at the same time, that is such a beautiful serving of karma. I'm fucking glad that backfired on you the way it did. You were trying to intimidate him or something, which I don't even know why you would know to go intimidate him, because they weren't even together. They hadn't even spoken. You made them speak for the first time in like months and got them back together. And I'm so glad that backfired in your fucking face. And I hope your left sock is wet for the rest of your life. Then this just converged with like a series of unfortunate events that are happening in my life. If y'all have seen my video of telling a traumatic birth control story time while ripping my hair out, and that whole story about me getting like my birth control implant replaced and then I was suddenly gushing blood, and that's such an uncommon side effect apparently that like it's not even listed. I don't even think they tell you that it's possible. It's like some spot bleeding, but not bleeding the way I was. And the doctor was so confused. But that had happened like a week earlier. And so my hormones and everything were adjusting. And just a bunch of shit had gone down. And so then this dude and we kind of met because we went to this like barcade that had karaoke nights. And I was going pretty regularly around this time. I was like going out on, a Tuesday. Going up on a Tuesday. This was like a week or something after he had ended things, and I was like crying. I was just so weepy. Like I was just so fucking out of it, but I also was like, I should go out. Like I deserve to go out and have fun. Then I ended up literally crying in a bathroom stall at like midnight at this barcade, like quite literally crying in the club, and like texting my sister about it. And also one of my friends that was there when this dude and I first like made out, and he like consoled me, and it was really nice. Or they consoled me. I haven't spoken to them in a while. I forgot their pronouns. Then I came back out and I was talking to this dude, and I was literally like crying at this table, and I kept trying to make him feel better. I'm like, it's not just you. Like I have a lot going on right now. I literally told him the whole story, and there was probably more shit going on too that I like don't even remember. Oh, and this was like 2 weeks after I accidentally overflowed my bathtub and caused a bunch of water damage on the ceiling. That was like one of the things that I did when I was high that was like reckless and careless. And then I would be like, it wasn't because I was high. I wasn't that high. And be like, sure, bitch, whatever. So just a lot of shit was going on. But I was telling him, and he was like, this is nothing you did. It's like everything was totally fine. And I wasn't expecting this to happen or whatever. And then I remember saying like, oh, this probably was a good thing because I would probably have ended up falling in love with you, and I know I can't be affording to do that, and so this is probably for the best, which honestly was just really honest. Like I've come to realize about myself, I can only go so long with a casual sex situation before I get my feelings involved. I tend to get my feelings involved almost immediately. So yeah, I'm curious if I ever end up in another relationship, how that will play out. Hello, I'm planning on this being my final addendum to this video because we are coming to the end, and I just wanted to give a bit of an update, especially if you don't follow me on TikTok or you don't happen to watch the TikToks that I post on here. But I filmed most of this before I had discovered Heated Rivalry, and I'm glad I'm not the only one that like the books and everything has made me like want to try to find love again and like believe in love and believe I can fall in love and want that for myself. And I really just believe in, say it again, I believe in the divine timing of everything. And I just want to believe that I'm on the path I'm supposed to be on, and that I'm going to find who I'm meant to be with. But also, in addition to just being like, oh, it'll happen, just kind of like everything. I mean, like sobriety, like my music, like everything. I figured I should put a little bit of effort into it as well, especially considering my glasses are so dirty. I've been living a bit like a hermit for a while. I basically just go to work and come home and go to like the store and do errands, and that's about it. So I tried Bumble again for a few days, and I've made a few connections on there with some people that so far seem pretty cool. But I ended up not being on the app anymore and just gave them my number and was like, let's just text because I don't want to be on here anymore, because it was really frustrating. Mainly just how people seem incapable of communicating what they actually want and what they're actually looking for. And it doesn't actually really come out until you start talking to them, and it just feels like a giant waste of time and energy. And it's basically just men that I've talked to so far or like have made connections with, because it seems really hard to find women on there, at least that aren't just looking for a third and just looking for a unicorn, pretty much. I know not all poly people are unicorn hunters, and very few unicorn hunters are actually polyamorous, but that just seems like a giant murky ball of weirdness. I got a tip actually on TikTok of someone being like, if you put in that you're just looking for women, it'll show you a better variety of women and people that are actually looking for closer to the same thing you are. But I also just don't like the app in general, because you can't filter out people based on what they're looking for, at least not that I could find. And maybe Hinge is different, and maybe that tip would be useful, but I just kind of sworn off dating apps in general. I would prefer to meet someone in person anyway, but I just need to be better about being out in the world more. And so that's kind of an overall lifestyle shift that I'm making. But I'm talking to some people in the meantime and made it very clear that I don't want to get into anything anytime soon. I want to take a few months probably to just explore my options and really feel like I'm mindfully getting into a relationship and actually know the person. And that's kind of different for me, because I can get pretty fixated on things and people pretty easily. But I think this is good for me. So that's where we're at with our love life right now. And I think that's it for this video that I've debated not making. And if I ever have a Patreon, just saving it for Patreon. But I've already put a bunch of effort into it, and it is what it is. So I need to check out like a tarot reading from the Gem Goddess or something. I love her videos. She's like the only psychic YouTuber I watch, and I love her vibe so much. I have post notifications on for her, and I have for like years, and I don't always watch every video of hers, but like I don't think I'll ever take notifications off. I want to see what she thinks about my love life. So that is just about it for my random sampling of romantic debauchery story times that I have to share with you. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you cringed, if you empathized, just whatever your thoughts were on this. If you have any, I love the word debauchery. If you have any stories of your own debauchery that you'd like to share, I would greatly appreciate it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I should probably settle on an actual upload schedule. Maybe I will sometime this year, who knows. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I post, which is pretty freaking often these days. I appreciate you very much. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Bye!